Going live, y'all. Waiting on the other camera to go live. I'm on location, man. I'm out here in LA. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see I'm out here working, man. I'm about to. I did the video how to make $100,000 in 2 days, and it went pretty good. I have to try to set this video up for y'all, so y'all be patient. I'm gonna do one at a time, and I'm trying to do the best I can getting these cameras set up. You know what I'm saying? So let me try to get this in. All right, let's see. Oh, whoa, one fell, one fell. Trying to get both of them in there. Kind of tricky, y'all. I'm getting it in here though. I'm gonna do a little tie, a little twisty tie, y'all. All right, all right, all right. Try to get it in here. Got both the cameras in there. Now I just gotta tighten it up, y'all. Just gotta tighten it up. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. If it'll let me do it without messing anything up. Alright. Alright. Trying to get y'all in there. Trying to get the camera set up, y'all. Getting these cameras set up is tricky. It's very, very tricky. It's not staying the way I want it to, but I'm going to do the best I can because that's what I do. Hey, you know what I noticed? I'm on YouTube Live on this other camera, right? And YouTube Live show beautiful. Facebook Live, it shows, I mean, the video is like dark. You know what I mean? It's like super dark. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it, you know? But we're going to work with it. We're going to make it do what it do. We're going to bring the old clipboards out. And we're going to get back to what we do. You know what I'm saying? I gave a video last time. Just let y'all know on Facebook Live, I can't really see y'all comments because the way I have it set up, I have it set up so that it's a strap in between that, which is going to be kind of bad, but I'm just going to do a lot of teaching today anyway. So I'm on location. I'm out here in LA. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the hotel, man, and I'm trying to get these cameras set up in a way where I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to push it all the way up, the cameras on this little strap thing that I got, and try to push it all the way up. So if y'all bear with me, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. So y'all be patient. So if the camera moves up and down and do all type of crazy stuff, I'll just know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm trying to get both of them. I'm trying to get both of them up a little higher, high as I can. All right, all right. I'm trying to get the cameras up there, y'all. Be patient. Or maybe I should put it this way. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do it this way. That way it'd be easier, and I can get these cameras set up first. Okay. Y'all know y'all looking at the ceiling. Don't trip. I'm just trying to tighten them in there so I'll be able to see some of y'all's comments. Okay, I'm back. That wasn't too bad, was it? And y'all see my room is messy. I'm at the hotel. So there's a swim pool right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on location in LA. But we're gonna get it in. We're gonna get it in. I can see some of y'all comments now on Facebook. YouTube, y'all, none of y'all checked in yet on my YouTube. Just my opinion. If y'all want to watch it later on, the code, it'll be there. The code will be there on Facebook too. But the code will also be there on YouTube Live. Now we're gonna get it back in. I'm gonna go back to the clipboard because that's what I do. Notepad, my bad. I'm calling the clipboard. Okay, we have started with $50,000. Let me turn this AC off too, y'all. I'm gonna get up one more time, y'all. Bear with me. Try to get up, turn that off, get that extra noise out the background. So it'll just be me. Okay, now that was the initial. It was the initial 50,000. That's what it was. Okay, that's people with regular jobs, and we agreed that this scenario right here is for the woman, for a woman, and we broke it down the other day how she can make an extra 100 G's in 2 years. Now we're going to teach the males how to do it. Okay, we're going to teach the males how to do it. You know what I'm saying? With a woman, kind of tricky. It's a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's not as easy as most people may think, but we're going to try to get it in and we're going to try to do it. Okay. Now, in this scenario that we had broke down their budget. You know what I mean? We had a lot of stuff that was on their budget, and we had agreed that the man was going to pay for everything that was on the woman's budget, everything that she had to pay for, and we agreed that she was paying out about it was $4,500, if I can remember, because I don't have that pad with me. You know what I'm saying? But we agreed that every month that she's paying out $4,500, and that included her student loans, that included her rent, that included her going to get her nails done, that included, you know what I'm saying, her electricity bill, that included, you know what I'm saying, cell phone, that included her rent. Her rent was $1,500, but you gotta remember, y'all gonna be living together, so she's not gonna have to spend that no more. But she still has a good job, and she's still making that money, and she's still able to. We're able to save that money. Now, what we agreed to was that that 4,500 times 12. It was times 12. What comes out to close to we gonna round it off, but it was like $54,000 that she was making. Now we're just gonna round that off. We're gonna round that off right there. Okay. Now we did that times 2. If she was able to save that times 2, living with her husband or her fiance, you know what I'm saying? Well, we agreed that he was going to pay for everything, you know what I mean? And still live the same life and pay for everything. Now, that came out to 54. So when we did that times 2, it ended up being $100,000. Now, see, $108,000, matter of fact. Okay, so $108,000, that's what it came out to be, y'all. Okay, now, that's in 2 years. Now, that's you two working together as a team. Now, what we agreed to was, as a man, we agreed that the man was going to try his best to match what she was putting in every month, to try his best to match what she was doing. So that means that he'd have to have a better job, or even better job, to be able to try to match, or even do half. If he could do half, okay, that would be great. Now, it's going to take a little bit longer for a man. I'm going to rip this off. This was what we talked about the other day. Right here. This is what we talked about the other day. And this also included investment properties, where after you reach the 100 G's, you don't need a bank anymore. Okay? Now you can finance yourself. Okay? And what we agreed to the other day was that we were going to buy investment properties in Detroit, Ohio, places like that has the houses are dirt cheap, and the rent is a lot. You know what I mean? The rent is very high, okay, in those places. So what we agreed to, the homes, we were picking them up at the auction for $15,000. Okay. We were putting about $10,000, $12,000 back into them, fixing them up so you can rent them out. Okay, and we were using Section 8. So each home, you know, for $15,000 that we were getting, right? Okay, we were getting $800 a month, okay, off of that. Okay, and that came out to be $6,400. We had 8 of them. We had 8 of these homes, okay? So we were able to finance ourselves, because in 2 years we was able to stack that 100 G's, you and your wife, you and your woman, okay? And this is just on a regular job, because remember, most females are paying that now. All their bills total up to be close to $4,000 a month, $4,500, $5,000, whatever, depending on where they're living at and how they're living or whatever. But they're not spending that anymore, okay? Because that money is being saved, okay? Her good man that she's working with every day, he's paying all the bills, okay? And in return, see, you'll have to get out of that independent mindset. That's what I was teaching y'all the other day. And once y'all was able to see it, you could see now how it's so important to stack your dollars instead of spend your dollars. Okay. And that's the habit that we have. The habit that we have every dollars that we get. Okay. We go buy a car. Okay. Which is the worst thing that you could do. That's a butter product. Okay. It devalues. It literally loses money as soon as you drive it off the lot. You know what I mean? That's the worst thing that you can get. Guys, we like buying guys. Females, we like buying cars. A car is nice. A car is something that you should think in your mind something that's cheap, something that can get you to point B, possibly C. That's what you should be thinking about. Okay, when you start talking about cars and stuff like that, you know what I mean. Those are Louis Vuitton, Gucci. I mean, that stuff is nice once you set this up the right way. Okay, once you set this up, because you have to understand money. And a lot of y'all don't understand money. Only thing you understand about money is working and getting it and spending it. That's it. Well, if you know anything about rich people don't spend money. Okay, just to give y'all a little insight on rich people, they don't spend money. Okay, you may think they do, yeah, and they may look good, but remember this: before a rich guy goes out and buy that new car that you're talking about, he'll lease it. You know why? Because then that money that he just spent, okay, is not on his credit, because your credit is everything. That's your borrowing power. When you got credit, you could borrow, okay? And when you're able to borrow, you're able to do things that you're not able to do. That doesn't fuck that debt ratio up. It's called debt ratio, okay? That does not fuck that up. So think about this. When you lease, after you're done with that car, because think about this, most new cars, they're only good for 2 years anyway, because that's when the warranty goes off and that's when everything goes off. And then after that, it's a piece of shit, because you're gonna be in and out of going to the dealership. You know what I'm saying, and getting the mechanics to work on it, and it's all bad. Now, we had 8 homes. Yeah, we're going back over what we talked about so we can get into the other stuff. Okay, and we picked each home up for $15,000. We put $10,000 in each house. Okay, we're able to do that because we have the money, right? You and your wife, y'all have the money because y'all stacked for 2 years. Y'all got the money, right? So out of that $15,800, you're getting $6,400 a month. $6,400 a month, what you got to work with. That's $6,400 right there, y'all. Y'all see that? $6,400. Okay, so now you do that times 12, and we came out to be something like $76,000, something like that. Okay, times 12. That's 70, close to 76. Don't quote me. I'm doing that in my head right now. I have a calculator. I'm trying to be that calculator for you. You know what I'm saying? But it's close to that. Okay, every year. And that's extra money now. Remember, this money, the houses are paid for. You don't have to worry about paying houses. You have to worry about paying taxes on the house, which is going to be dirt cheap because it's Detroit. It is Ohio. Okay. And you have to worry about maybe until you can get more homes, more than 8 homes, maybe like 20 or 30 of those homes. And once you get on that level, then you can create your management company, and they can manage all your properties. So you don't have to be tied down to that location. You know what I mean? But for right now, you're going to be managing these 8 homes and getting Section 8 for them and making sure they're good and everything. So give or take, it won't be a complete $6,400 a month. It'd be more like $5,000 a month. And that's realistically, I mean, that's how we're looking, because you have to pay either people, you know what I'm saying, to check on the house. You got to pay people to manage that property. And people, they have companies that do that. They'll take a percentage. It's 2 or 3% or whatever it is. But you have to pay. So you'll still be getting $5,000 free money. You know what I mean? However way you do it, because you're not able to be there. 9 times out of 10, you be living in places like California, New York, you know what I'm saying? Places like, good places, good weather places where, you have to worry about snow and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? But now you're receiving $76,000 a year. Okay. That's earned income. You're going to have to pay taxes on that, but it's still free money, y'all. You don't have to work anymore. That's the whole thing. The whole thing about what this is all about. When you two are working together as a team, but y'all should still work and still at least do the same thing for the next 4 or 5 years after that, so that you can make sure that you don't never, ever have to work ever. Your family, you could pass this wealth down to your kids. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. And that's what y'all not understanding. Passing this wealth down to the kids. You know what I mean? Because once they get this wealth and they keep doing things, guess what? They don't never have to work ever again either. The only thing they have to do is manage properties. You know what I mean? And they don't even have to manage, because by that time you're gonna have about 30 or 40 of these houses, and you're gonna still making $6,400 a month. Now you're gonna be making 30, 40, 50,000 a month, and just money coming in. You know what I mean? And that's forever. You know what I mean? That's forever. And then as you're making money, you can, upgrade the houses as you need it. Like some of the houses in the future are going to need a roof. Some going to need, some attention to, more appliances and stuff like that. But that's all part of the game. You know what I mean? That's all part of what we're talking about. Now, we went over this last time. I just want to do a brief little summary of everything. Y'all see that right there? Everything that we're talking about. Now, we're going to figure out how to do it as a man. Okay, as males. Now it works a little different as a male, because you're working, and you don't have the luxury as a man, as a real man. You know what I mean, to have somebody like come and help you out. You know what I mean. So your little scenario is going to be a little different. You know what I mean, but you can still do it. Now, I advise all males, if you are living with your mother, and she understands what you're doing, because it's not about just living on your parent and then trying to come up. It's okay. You know what I mean? That's what your parents and grandparents are there for. That's what it's for. You know what I mean? Now, as you do it as your mother, you know what I mean? You living at your mother's house, okay, or your dad, or your grandmother or grandfather, or if you work with your sister. Now, this scenario is for a man, okay? It's not for a woman. That scenario was for you and your wife. The other scenario that we gave was for you and your wife, or you and your fiance, or you and your a woman that's trying to actually make something, have something in this world. You know what I mean? But this right here is for a man for males that's by themselves. Okay, so it goes a little bit something like this. If you have a brother, mother, best friend, and that's male or female, you know what I mean? Whoever that you could trust, you could run this scenario by them. Hopefully they'll believe enough in you where, that's why I say, when you do this scenario, like your mother, once you explain this to your mother, you know what I mean? Then, she see where you're going, then she'll understand your struggle. Okay. Now, the first thing you have to do as a man, you have to break down your budget. Okay. So if you're living with your mother, you don't have any rent. So that's a beautiful thing. So now you was paying $1,700 a month. Okay. That's what you were paying. 17. Now that's saved. Right. Boom. That's saved. Okay. Now, if you went to college and you have to pay $500 a month, that's the money that we have to pay out. See, that's why the scenario is different. You know what I mean? For a man, it's different. Okay, straight up. I mean, that's just the way it is. Okay, that's not a say. You have to pay your student loan. So there's no way around that as a man. You have to pay that. So you have to pay. That's something that you have to pay. Okay, now haircuts. Because, for women, she, got her hair and her nails done every week. We were giving her $60 a week to do that. You know what I mean? $20 for her nails, $40 to get her hair, washed and permed or whatever. You know what I mean? But for a man, your hair, if you have hair, then that is an expenditure. So that's $15 a month. So you're looking at 15. So you're looking at $60 a month. Okay. And that's 60. So that's something that you have to pay. Okay. So that's $60. We're going to put that at 60. Okay. And you have to pay that. If you're bald headed like me, that's free. Okay. You don't have to pay that. Okay. I mean, straight up, you don't have to pay that. Right. So that's $60, for me, I don't have to pay. Right. So for me, it's saved. Okay. Because I don't have to pay. That's under the category it's saved. When we're breaking down our budget, you know what I mean? That's the category that we have saved because we don't have to pay that. Right. And let's get some other expenditures. Oh, and the other thing we had, I think it was a weed, you know what I mean? Which they were spending that or whatever. If you still have that habit, then that's a costly habit. You know what I mean? Especially when you're trying to reach this 100 G's. So you might have to go to double A, triple weed way, or whatever. Because if you have that habit, that's not a good habit to have if you're trying to save money. Straight up. I mean, I'm just gonna give you. So that's another one that's saved, and you have to be disciplined. You know what I mean? And that's part of it, y'all. You have to be disciplined. There's no way around none of this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So some of these things that you pay for, that you have to have, um, you might have to give it up. I mean, as a man, if you want to try to reach this goal, you know what I mean. So you was paying that every month, so that's what, 300 a month for that. So that's money that's saved. Hair is saved. So just between them two alone, that's $360 that you saved. Oh, between your hair and your weed habit, there's money that you saved. Okay, so that's a good thing. So the only thing that you actually have to pay, because we saved $1,700. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to pay that more in rent, right? So, and we have to pay the 500 because that's your student loan. That's if you have one. Okay, if you went to school and you got that for student loans, $500 a month. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, gas. Okay, you can't get around gas. That's something that you have to pay. Okay, that's not something that you save. So gas would be expenditure that you have to pay. So if you got a small car, that's probably about $20 every 2 days, every 3 days, maybe $20 every 3 days. So we'll say $40 a week. So let's see, 40, 80. So $160 that you have to pay. Okay, so now y'all starting to see how different it is for a guy and it is for a female to stack these dollars. Okay, it's much easier as a female to do it than a man. A man is expenditures that he just have to pay, even if he's living with his mother or living with his dad or living with his best friend or living with his brother or whatever. You know, these are expenditures that you just have to pay. Like gas is one of them. Okay, now we're gonna get down to food. You see. Food is another one. So, you know, that's another $200 a month. So another 200 a month that you have to pay. I mean, because you have to live, right? So, we're gonna get into how to stack these dollars, but it's not gonna be easy. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. You know, as a man, you really have to get your hustle on, your hustle, because and you might have to work extra if you really want to be realistically, like take Uber, even if you got your regular job, and or do Lyft or something like that, or Amazon Pay, just to get extra money. So we're gonna run that scenario too. So we're getting the extra. We're gonna use Uber along with your job. Okay, so you drive an Uber when you're not working. Okay, so Uber, we'll say we'll give Uber an extra $2,000 a month in Uber. Okay, Uber. So that's something that's money that goes straight to you, right? So we're using Uber now because we're trying to get this money, and it's not working just with a regular job. I mean, even though you're making $50,000 a year with your regular job, and especially in California, you know what I mean, it's hard. Okay, but we're gonna try to come up with this money, so we're gonna use Uber as your second job to try to bring in that extra money to help pay for some of this stuff. Okay, and help help you with your goals. But we're gonna do it though. Don't even trip. You know what I mean? It's gonna break down. It's gonna do it. I'm gonna get my calculator over here in a minute, and we're going to break this shit down, and it's gonna be all good. Don't trip. Now, but becoming rich. Okay, it requires sacrifice. And if you're not willing to sacrifice or make some type of changes, you will never be rich. If you always just comfortable with just going to work, okay, and receiving a check, and then you know what I'm saying, paying all your bills, and then you're still living paycheck to paycheck, that's the reality that you want to live. But in my opinion, once I show you this, it'd be very selfish of you to do this, right? And not be able to pass your kids down property, you know what I'm saying, businesses and stuff in the future where, you know what I mean, you can make sure that your kids never have to work. And that's what it's all about. It's about passing down wealth, not being rich, because being rich, you could be broke one day. Being wealthy, you will never be broke. You know what I mean? So take somebody like a Bill Gates, think about it. His kids, that scenario can go down 1,000 times. 1,000 generations don't have to eat because of what Bill Gates did today. You know what I mean? And in the last 20 years, what he did in the last 20 years, he made it so that his generations will never ever have to eat, wouldn't have to worry about nothing. So these are the sacrifices that you have to make. And the way we spend money in the wrong way. We look at money differently. Okay. And you have to understand that. You know what I mean? And if you don't understand money, you will never be rich. And these scenarios right here, this is stuff that you can do, you know, with a regular job. You can do this. You know what I mean? It's just, as a man, it's a little bit harder. As a woman, like I showed you, it's a little bit easier because as a man, you're supposed to take care of your woman. And I know a lot of women be on this independent tip, but guess what? Being independent in the United States is not the ticket because it's not built like that. You have to build a team and you have to work together to become wealthy in America. That's reality. No matter whether you have a business, whether we're doing real estate, whatever you're doing, you have to work together if you want to be wealthy so that you don't have to worry about nothing ever again. Because I'm talking about things like instead of buying one house, okay, what does it look like you buying one house? Wouldn't it be better if you buy some land? Buying land is way better than buying a house, especially in California, because for the simple fact that the people that build the houses, they take the equity out of the house. So a normal house that would normally cost like $150,000 in Atlanta or a place like that, these homes go for $800,000. Same house, same materials, same hot tub, same everything. You know what I mean? That's in the house, $150,000. California, $800,000. See what I'm saying? So that's why buying land is always a ticket, because when you buy land, you can dictate what you want on that land. Long as it's zoned for residential, you could do what you want. Sometimes they have land that's zoned for residential and business. So you have to think about these concepts once you start making money. You know what I mean? And what I'm telling you is that when you buy land, think about this. If you buy land and you got 8,000 square feet on that land, you know what I mean? You could put technically 1,500 square foot townhomes on that land, and you could have your whole family living on that same bit of land, and y'all all living in fat houses. You know what I mean? That's the way you should be thinking, instead of you just living on that 8,000 square feet and you living on that land by yourself. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? See, when you understand the concept, okay, and the African quote from us, I'm just talking to my people right now, but from the African perspective, it takes a village just to raise one child. One child. It takes a whole village. You understand what that means? That means we all together. And as a group, we cannot be stopped. You know what I mean? So this scenario right here for a man is going to be much harder. You know why? Because it's harder for a man because a man have to get out there and be a man. And some of y'all not man. You know what I mean? Some of y'all acting like y'all man, you know what I mean? And having sex and having babies and all that, that's not being a man. You know what I mean? That's being what is called a poop butt. And sometimes you have to step up to the plate and make all these sacrifices. And there's nothing wrong with making sacrifice. You know what I mean? It's just harder for you to do it because ain't nobody going to give you nothing as a man, and ain't nobody supposed to give you nothing as a man. You're supposed to work out there and bust it, work hard, do what you got to do. So now, I'm going to rip this page off. And now we understand what the numbers is. We're going to try to work with what we got, right? We're going to try to work with what we got, y'all. I mean, it's harder, but we're going to try to do it. Okay, now we have, okay, we're going to break it down. Here we go. $1,700 we saved, right? We're using Uber. And that was what we were paying for renting. We're not renting anymore because we're living at mom's house. Are we living with our brother? Are we living with our cousin? Are we living with a best friend or something? We're saving a lot of money. And they understand what you're doing, and they're backing you, and they love you, and they want to see you succeed. Okay? And people don't mind being used, but not being misused. People never misuse anybody ever. Because once somebody back you, it doesn't matter how small it is. Somebody back you, something that you developed, or somebody backed you on your dream. This is a dream right here. And this is a real scenario, because once you get this right, guess what? You don't have to work ever again. Okay, so now, here we go. We're going to do this, and this is for 2 years we're going to do this. Okay, now, we're getting an extra $2,000 from Uber. And that's our second job. You know what I mean? The first job, you know, we're making our money, $50,000 from our service, but then now we're going to use Uber. Now, this scenario works for males only. Okay, now we're getting an extra $2,000 from that. Okay, now the weed habit, we had to kick that, right? So we're getting the extra $300 for that. Okay, hair, kick that too. Bald headed, bam. Okay, so that's an extra $60 we saving every month. Okay, the student loan, we have to pay that. We already agreed that we have to pay that. Gas, food, we have to pay that. That's things that we have to pay. Okay, so now we're going to work with this scenario with what we got so far, okay? Because we still haven't mentioned the cell phone. We still haven't mentioned some other things. But this scenario right here, we're going to work with what we got, okay? So now, and it still turns out the same. It's just a little different, okay? And you have to understand how all this shit works. Okay, now, here we go. Now, we're going to do, and you know I should have got my calculator because I'm doing all this on my dome, but it's all good. We're going to work with that. Okay, now we got 1,700 plus 2,000. That's 3,700. 3,700 is what we got so far. 3,700. Okay, and then we have an extra 300 because we don't have the weed habit anymore, right? So 300. Okay, so now we're at the $4,000, y'all. See how easy that go? Okay, so now we're running into the same thing work. Now we're having an extra 60. So now we're looking at $4,060. So add the 60 to that. $4,060, y'all. That's what we got right here. $4,060. You see that right there? Okay, so now the scenario works the same way. Remember, it still works out the same exact way. Now I'm gonna get this damn calculator, and I should have got this damn calculator before I got started, but I'm about to get this calculator because we're gonna get it in. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna break it in. All right. But while this phone is booting up, okay, I'm back. While this phone is booting up, y'all got to realize one thing. In life, there's going to always be sacrifices. And if you're not willing to make that sacrifice, you will always stay at the same level that you're at. Now, most people, what they do, they try to front. So they'll buy a new car. They'll buy a new house. They'll do all this stuff that they're going down that path, right? But you got to remember, that path is going to keep you mentally and physically in jail. Mentally, you're going to be in jail because you're not going to be able to do anything. You know why? Because the mortgage on that house is going to be taking up 70% of your income. So you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to make these moves. You know why? Because you went down the path that your parents did. Okay. And it's a cool path. Don't get it wrong. You know what I mean? You can live that scenario, but guess what? You're going to always be working. You will not have financial freedom. You will be able to pass the house down if you pay the house off. But remember that when you buy a house, okay, you're going to be paying 3 times what that house is worth in 30 years. Okay, so that means you gave them people 3 times the money just to borrow that $300,000 or that $400,000 or that $500,000. Okay, you're going to give them 3 times. That's the reason why they gave you the loan. So think about that. It's ways to do this shit without having to put yourself in this mental slavery, okay? And physically, because you be physically there. You can't do anything. You can't do none of this. You can't, how you gonna invest? With what? You're not gonna have any money. The reason why you're not gonna have money, all your money is gonna be going to that mortgage. Now, if you set this up right the first way, if you set this up this way, then, you know what I mean, you'll be financial free. And if you want to have that house out in Brentwood or a brand new house, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because other people's paying that shit. You ain't paying for nothing. Only thing you're doing is kicking it. You know what I mean? Which, you know, it's not going to make sense once you get on this level, okay, to feel like you have to go and spend that kind of money on the house. Hell, you have your house built for 3 times less. You know what I mean? But we're going to get in here. We're going to figure this out. Okay, we're going to bust the calculator out. Got the calculator. Okay, so we're going to run these numbers. Okay, so now we have, let's see, 4,060. We're going to get it in times 12. It's going to be similar, y'all. $48,000. Like I said, there it is right there. $48,000 that you saved. Okay, are you understanding what I'm saying? And this is just doing something simple. and you got people that love you and people that's got your back for them 2 years, okay? Because once you do this after these 2 years, you can finance yourself. You don't need nobody after that because you could be able to buy these investment properties and you'll be able to live on that. You ain't got to worry about none of that shit anymore, okay? But, okay, now 48,000, okay, times 2 equals 100 G's, y'all. See how we just got 100 G's that easy? 100 G's. $97,000 is what we got, right? So that's close to 100 G's right there. There it is right there, okay? 100 G's that we pulled in 2 years. Okay, this happens in 2 years. Now, from that 100 G's you got, you'll be able to start off with 4 or 5 homes. Okay, but remember, you're going to do this hustle. This hustle is going to be for 2 years, but to really get it the way you want it, you're going to have to hustle for another 2 years to get them 8 homes. Because once you get them 8 homes, that's $6,400 a month that you're going to be receiving in rent. See, with this 100 G's, you're only going to be able to buy 4 homes. Okay, but if you had a woman that was with you, that's what I'm saying. If you had a good woman, you know what I mean, and if she was helping you and y'all was working together, y'all could work this together and y'all can end up getting them 8 homes. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. So now we end up with 4 homes, okay, and we receive probably about $3,200 a month. But that's not bad. That's not bad at all because you bought 4 homes, okay, 4 homes. You paid $15,000 for them. Okay, in places like Detroit, places like Ohio, where the rent is high. The rent is high. The rent is $800 for a 3-bedroom. Okay, that's high. So when you get these homes and you pick them up for $15,000, you're gonna put $10,000 into them, each one. That's where it comes out to $25,000, y'all. $25,000 total for each house because you're gonna put $10,000 in them. Now, what are we gonna put in them? We're gonna put new floors in them. We're gonna put new sheetrock. Okay, paint gonna be $1,000. Put a new driveway in and new appliances, okay? All for $10,000, okay? It's all mapped out for you. Then we're going to rent them out to Section 8, which is going to give you $800 guaranteed money. You don't have to worry about collecting money from somebody in that, that's living in that neighborhood. You're going to be Section 8, so you don't have to worry about it. That's a check they're going to give to you. Now, it's all kind of, it's backlashes to all that shit, but guess what? When you're hustling, you're trying to make money, you got to do what you got to do, right? So you starting off with 4, and we're going to put that 4 homes. 4 homes. We're going to be getting $3,200 a month, okay, is what we're going to receive right there. You see that right there? That's that $3,200 that we're going to receive, right? And this is from a guy's perspective. This is not for the females. We did the females the other day. This is from a guy living with his mother or living with his brother or his friend or his cousin or his sister or somebody that he could trust, somebody that he explains what he's trying to do, and he's telling them and they believe in him and they love him and they believe him and he's doing this, you know what I'm saying? He's stacking his dollars. He's not spending no money. He's stacking all his dollars. You know what I mean? He ain't going trying to buy no Lexus or no Corvette, none of that shit, or these butter products. He ain't trying to buy Louis Vuitton. He ain't trying to stack his dollars for some Gucci or none of that shit. He trying to stack his dollars so he can start winning. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. It's about winning, okay? And this is the winning strategy. This is the hard sacrifice you have to make. Some people, y'all don't want to make no sacrifices, but trust me when I tell you, if you want to lose weight or if you want to make money, you're going to have to make sacrifices in both. You know what I mean? You either have to sacrifice or it's not going to happen, y'all. I'm telling y'all the truth. It's not going to happen if you don't make any sacrifices. So now, it's going to take him a little bit longer, but in 2 years, look, he's already receiving big dollars. Okay. He's receiving big dollars, $3,200 a month, which is great money. Okay. It's not something that you can quit your job. You know what I mean? But it's something that you could have an extra $3,200 a month. That's extra money that's in your pocket. You know what I mean? Let me plug these little phone chargers up real quick, y'all, and so I can get back to it. I got a few more minutes. I'm not going to be on here all day with y'all. You know what I mean? I just wanted to come and try to give the guy scenario, which y'all both understand that it's harder as a man because being a man, you have to do certain things. You have to step up to the and the motherfucker went crazy. You know what I mean? Real talk. Okay. Now, so that's what I'm telling you. This scenario can be done as a man. Now, for the next 2 years as him being on that job, it's going to take him a little bit longer, y'all. But in 2 years, as you can see, what he's already done, he created a situation in 2 years where he's able to collect $3,200 a month, which is a lot of money, right? And then you got to remember that's every year, so it comes out to almost $30-something thousand that he getting extra every year. Okay, and just by him making that extra $32,000 a year extra, he could literally buy almost 2 homes off of that. You know what I mean? 32,000 that he's making, he could literally buy two more homes. You know what I mean? Just by making that extra 32,000 off the original investment. You know what I mean? He could take that money and he could buy 2 more homes. You know what I mean? So then he can get to that 8 homes where he can get $6,400 a month, and he could actually quit his job if he wanted to. But if you're smart, you'll still keep doing it, keep hustling. Because the scenario that we did the other day, you could end up with $500,000 or even $1 million if y'all work together on a 4 or 5 year plan. You know what I mean? $1 million cash in the bank. You know what I mean? That's another show I'm going to do off of the video that I did the other day. But that's all I got for you today. And that's the male's version right here, y'all. That's the male's version on how to get this 100 G's. I'm on location. I'm out here in LA, man. Out here working out here in LA. I'm doing my thing, man. I'm about to go get in the swim pool. You know what I'm saying? And about to enjoy myself. But it's Big Rich. Y'all check and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Just My Opinion. And also, y'all go ahead and subscribe right now. You know, need them subscriptions up. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Just My Opinion, host Big Rich. Don't forget to download our app. You know, we got our social media app that's out there. We're getting ready to do some big things with that. You know what I'm saying? Add live video. We're getting ready to do some things with it. Android version. Everybody's been talking about the Android version. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. You know what I mean? This stuff doesn't happen. It costs money to do this stuff. And, you know, it's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? But we out here grinding. We doing it. We trying to make a change, man. We trying to make this thing happen. So I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna turn this off because I got the straps in. I'm gonna see if I'm able to do it. Okay, it say finish right there. I'm gonna finish on YouTube right there. Finished up. Y'all hit me up. Let's see where I get this at.